in the world did I just sit through? What did I just witness? I'm pretty sure I just had years shaved off the back end of my life. What a tough, ugly watch this game was, and on top of it, they lost. They lost.
When the Indiana Fever faced the Los Angeles Sparks on Saturday night, fans expected a straightforward contest. Instead, they got yet another chapter in the ongoing saga of WNBA officiating woes. What began as an ordinary game quickly devolved into a showcase of referee blunders, and this time the evidence was impossible to ignore.
Here's the one thing with that last play that I'm speaking about. It seemed like they called it a loose ball foul at first, which would have been favorable for us because we have them in the bonus. Yeah, we were in the bonus with 5.5 minutes left to go. First time all season. I was shocked. We grabbed the rebound. Looked like they called it a loose ball foul. Yes, we can go to the free throw line. Oh, they changed it. Reset.
The Fever fell 89-87 to a struggling Sparks squad, but the final score wasn't the headline. The real story was the officiating, or lack thereof. In a moment that stunned fans and players alike, officials turned a blind eye to blatant contact as Sophie Cunningham had her face grabbed right in front of them. Player safety wasn't just compromised, it was ignored.
The LA Sparks just got the spark versus the Fever for some reason, man. But the Sparks always have matched up well with the Fever since last season, man. Tough ending for the Fever girls. Just some missed free throws, some questionable shots. Could have got it, man. Close game. I ain't even mad. The intensity is there, man. This team, if they can keep up this intensity, is going to be real nice when Caitlin Clark gets...
This wasn't just another rough night for the officials. It was a showcase of systematic bias that laid bare everything wrong with WNBA officiating. Sophie Cunningham wasn't just bumped on a 50-50 play. She was tackled to the floor, had her face grabbed, and yet the referee stood by and did nothing. The silence of the whistle in that moment wasn't an oversight, it was an indictment.
A disaster. This was a disaster. The Indiana Fever cannot keep losing to teams like the LA Sparks if they're supposed to be a good team. And Rickea Jackson, she just flat abused the Fever in the last 3 minutes of the game. Seriously, what?
Meanwhile, Sydney Carlson delivered a textbook defensive play, hands only, clean on the ball, and somehow the same officials blew the whistle. The absurdity peaked when they spent nearly 5 minutes huddled over the monitor, debating what was clear to everyone watching. Carlson's stop was a perfectly legal defensive play.
Sydney Carlson, man, shout out to her, dog. I can't overlook her. 6 points, 5 assists, 2 rebounds with that intelligent block, like it. 2 of 4 from the floor and then 2 of 3 from the 3. I mean, she was shooting like she was the scorer of the team. She put on her airy bag tonight.
The contradiction was mind-boggling. Sophie Cunningham gets tackled to the floor, her face grabbed in plain view, and the officials act as if nothing happened. Yet moments later, Sydney Carlson executes a textbook defensive play, all ball and no body, and suddenly the whistles are flying. The hypocrisy was so blatant that even the broadcasters couldn't disguise their disbelief at such ridiculous inconsistency.
And we talk about this. We are circled on everybody's schedule. Everyone, no one likes us, right? So everyone in our locker room, that's the only type of people that we have that we can lean on, and we got to be better in that area. We have got to stay disciplined. We have to stay focused. We need to get consistent, and we got to lean on each other. And I think that we've kind of wavered a little bit on that. We have our own islands, but as one of the leaders on the team, I got to do a better job of grouping people, right? In the fourth.
If you're enjoying this breakdown, don't forget to subscribe. And let's be clear, this isn't happening to just any player. Sophie Cunningham has been the one consistently stepping up to defend her teammates all season, especially when Caitlin Clark was getting mauled on the court. Yet now, when Cunningham herself needed protection, the officials looked the other way. The footage from Saturday night is damning. Julie Van Loo grabbing Cunningham around the neck during what should have been a routine loose ball scramble. Instead of calling the obvious foul, the refs shrugged it off and ruled it a jump ball, as if violent contact to the face and neck is just a normal part of the game.
Went with Lexi Hull in the starting lineup, and she was just trying to get charge calls all night, trying to get the charge calls because she was lacking with the size with Rakia Jackson. So I understood why she was doing it and trying to get Rakia in foul trouble. It was smart. But at the end of the day, that last play, you never flop and give the ref the game to call. You never flop in the clutch moment, man. I'm sorry. I did not.
What makes this even more infuriating is that it's the same referee crew who spent an eternity at the monitor reviewing Sydney Carlson's clean block on Rakia Jackson. Carlson got all ball, no contact, yet the officials still blew the whistle, called it a foul, and then wasted 5 full minutes debating what was obvious to everyone watching. The fact that such a textbook defensive play even needed review shows just how lost these referees are. But this isn't just about bad officiating, it's about selective enforcement. When Sophie Cunningham gets grabbed by the face, the whistles go silent. But when Carlson makes a clean stop, the officials can't blow them fast enough. That double standard has haunted the Indiana Fever all season, and Saturday night was simply the most blatant example yet.
Here, let's point out the obvious. A lot of people said it. We can officially rest in peace. R.I.P. Undertaker. Tombstone pile driver. The theory that this team is better without Caitlin Clark. ESPN, you got your ears on? We can officially tombstone pile drive that BS. If you can't see how incredibly limited the Indiana Fever are on offense without CC, you're either not watching or you don't know what you're watching.
The absurdity hit its peak when you look at who the Fever actually lost to, the Los Angeles Sparks, a team sitting near the very bottom of the standings. Coming in with a 5-13 record, the Sparks were the second worst team in the league, stumbling through a miserable season. Yet somehow they managed to take down Indiana. What? Because the referees swallowed their whistles on blatant fouls and invented phantom calls on clean plays. This was exactly the kind of game where Caitlin Clark's presence was desperately needed. And for all the analysts claiming the Fever are better without Clark, Saturday night exposed that narrative as pure delusion. The difference was undeniable. With Clark on the floor, Indiana likely wins this game with ease. Instead, they were left fighting not just the Sparks but the officiating crew, and doing it all without their...
And the referees, let's just blame the referees and say, hey, but you called a loose ball foul. This was a game that we should have won. Again. And a game that we lost, unfortunately. 89-87, Los Angeles Sparks defeat
the Indiana Fever now sit at 9-9, but it feels more like 1-10 against the refs. Night after night, Indiana isn't just battling opponents, they're fighting against a wall of officiating bias that seems determined to make every game an uphill climb. When a team has to burn challenges on obvious calls while watching violent plays go unchecked, you know the system is broken. Saturday night was the perfect example. In the first quarter, Sophie Cunningham dove for a loose ball only to be grabbed around the neck by Julie Van Loo. The contact was clear, deliberate, and unnecessary. Any competent official would have immediately called a foul, possibly even more given the dangerous escalation risk. Instead, these referees shrugged, called it a jump ball, and moved on, showing zero concern for Cunningham's safety. Meanwhile, Sydney Carlson's clean block on Rakia Jackson was inexplicably whistled as a foul. The Fever were forced to waste a challenge just to correct what should have been an obvious call. Worse, the officials then spent nearly 5 minutes at the monitor debating whether Carlson's textbook defensive play was even legal. The message this sends is outrageous. Grab a player by the face and neck, no problem, play on. But make a clean defensive stop with proper technique? That's a foul worth lengthy review. The incompetence is so glaring it borders on negligence, and by refusing to enforce the rules consistently, these officials aren't just compromising the game's integrity, they're putting player safety at risk.